From 2003 into 2008, there was a 5-year window in which I repeatedly found myself in the same vicious cycle of self sabotage. You see, this was the period of time where I gained the majority of my weight. And I knew that I was gaining weight. I think at some point I became oblivious to how much I had gained, but I was aware of the fact that there was weight to be lost. And during that time, I tried different diets and different methods of weight loss, different type of workouts, all kind of stuff. The specifics really aren't relevant. What I can tell you is that no matter what I tried, I had some temporary success. But here's what would always end up happening, especially when it came to the diets, because they were all very restrictive, is I would start getting a craving for something. And I would tell myself, no, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to give in to that craving. And eventually I did. I gave in. And what I did is I started to tell myself that it was okay. I started justifying my decisions. So when I say that I started justifying my decision, here's what that might look like. And this conversation might sound familiar to some of you. I would leave work. At the time I was working in retail management. So it was not uncommon for me to be headed home from work at like 9 to 10 o'clock at night. And I had not eaten anything since maybe 4 or 5 o'clock that evening. So by this point, I'm starving. I'm hungry. I do not want to go home and take the time to cook food, even food that I had already prepared for myself. I did not want to go home and cook it. And so as I drove by Wendy's or McDonald's or Taco Bell or whatever was on my way home, the temptation to stop into those restaurants and order something was overwhelming. And sometimes I would tell myself, I'd say, Stephen, all you have to do, yes, I do actually call myself by name, just in case you're wondering. I would say, it's okay if you want to get fast food. Let's just maybe try to order something healthy, right? Then it will be good. That's what I was kind of thinking to myself, like, as long as I order that grilled chicken, then I'm good. Well, probably know what happened. The grilled chicken didn't get ordered. Instead, by the time I got up there and I started looking through the menu and looking through all the choices, man, that grilled chicken just doesn't sound so good anymore. Now I want, the good stuff. I want the super fatty, greasy stuff and the French fries and the hamburgers or going to Taco Bell, any number of items, right? So I found myself justifying pulling into the restaurant with better intentions than what I could have had. And still and yet, I couldn't stick with it. And I didn't understand why I could not have the willpower to ever stick with these things. And of course, once I pulled into the fast food restaurant the first time, it became easier to keep doing it. And then eventually I was just back to eating fast food every day, and any weight loss I had went away. And this vicious cycle continued over that 5-year window. So you might ask, what changed for me? Well, the thing that changed for me was I started to understand that, hey, I can't just cut all these things out of my life. I can't have periods of real strictness. I don't have the discipline for that. But I can't be stuck being fat forever. There has to be something I can actually do about this. And so I started looking at my habits. I started changing small things. I started doing all the stuff I always talk to y'all about, those little small changes over time. And I built momentum up to make those decisions easier for myself, and to the point that they eventually became easy enough that I stuck with them for almost a year, that it took me to lose 80 pounds. And then I never put the weight back on. But I wanted to share this story because I think a lot of times people look at my before and after picture, especially people that didn't know me back then. and they go, "Oh man, you lost 80 pounds. That's so cool." And they don't know what the struggle was before that. They don't know there was 5 years of yo-yo dieting. They don't know that I lost and regained the same 20 pounds over and over again. They don't understand that even when I lost the 80 pounds, there was 6 weight loss plateaus. They don't realize that this was not some super easy linear process. This was trial and error. This was making mistakes. This was falling off. This was giving up and then starting over again, over and over again. This vicious cycle of self sabotage where I would talk myself out of my workouts, where I would talk myself out of eating better until finally I learned there was a better way to do it. So I just wanted to share that story with y'all today because I know a lot of people out there, they're struggling. And when they see a success story like mine, somebody who's lost 80 pounds or whatever the case may be, there's this tendency to want to judge ourselves, right? To say, oh, well, I'm not good enough because I can't stick with it. You don't need willpower. You can create unshakable habits in your life with zero willpower. I can teach you the systems to help you do that. And if you want to learn what those are, head over to unshakablehabits.com, get signed up for our next round of the 5-day habit creator challenge, and I will teach those systems to you. So this was day 92 of our daily live video series. I'll see you back tomorrow. And I just want to remind you that you do not have to settle for good enough because you, my friend, have the ability to be unshakable. See y'all tomorrow.